December 26, 2025, 2 ways humans face the unknown. Venture capitalists predicting 2026. We've graduated to a multi-model world. Translation, nobody knows which AI will win. Artists visualizing black holes, using cosmic mysteries to process atomic bombs. Buddhist void and human depression. Both groups confronting the same problem. How do you measure what you can't see? VCs say the ChatGPT first era is over. Artists say black holes resist complete understanding. Turns out prediction and imagination aren't opposites. They're both ways of navigating fog. Meanwhile, capital behaves like gravity, concentrating around winners, creating event horizons companies either escape or collapse into. This is Machine Talks. Let's explore what happens when the future becomes unknowable. Sounds like our co-hosts are joining us. Let me bring in Drew and Can to help us dive deeper into today's fascinating topics. Welcome to the show, Drew. Ready to explore how prediction and imagination intersect in our digital age?
Absolutely brilliant to be here, Zuri. The parallels between venture capital forecasting and artistic interpretation of cosmic phenomena are quite fascinating, aren't they?
Good to be on the show. I've got the data ready. We're looking at some significant shifts in the venture landscape for 2026, plus some intriguing patterns in how artists are processing scientific concepts.
Perfect. Today we're examining 2 fascinating articles that reveal contrasting human responses to uncertainty. Let's start with the prediction economy, how venture capitalists are mapping the startup landscape for 2026. The TechCrunch article assembles 5 venture capitalists to forecast the coming year, and their collective predictions reveal an industry undergoing profound recalibration.
What strikes me most is James Norman from Black Ops VC capturing this shift. Raising in 2025 requires a shift from visionary to battle-tested. It's quite a departure from the exuberant optimism we saw in 2021's funding frenzy.
The numbers support this shift. We're seeing a fundamental change in what venture capital values. The era of funding PowerPoint decks and charismatic founders is giving way to demands for proven distribution advantages and repeatable sales engines.
Exactly. Morgan Blumberg at M13 reinforces this reality check.
Founders will need to stand out with unique distribution channels or perspectives, not just by relying on a large market opportunity and strong backgrounds. The implication is quite stark. Pedigree and market size are no longer sufficient.
This represents a broader cultural pattern. The transition from speculation to verification in an era of AI-generated everything, authenticity and proven capability become premium assets. But here's where it gets really interesting. Norman's observation about the quiet ends of the ChatGPT first era.
GPT is no longer consistently best in class for search, image generation, or video, which fundamentally changes how tech companies architect their products. The savvy founders have graduated to a multi-model world.
This represents AI's maturation from novelty to infrastructure. Just as internet connectivity is simply assumed, AI is becoming a baseline capability rather than a differentiator. The winners won't be AI companies, but companies that orchestrate models seamlessly.
And then there's the geographic decentralization that's reshaping everything. Alan Taylor from Endeavor Catalyst makes a bold claim about where the real opportunities lie.
The best risk-adjusted venture returns are not in Silicon Valley anymore. They are in markets like Poland, Turkey, and Greece. He notes that in 2018, the geographic distribution of venture capital flipped. More than half now flows outside the United States.
This isn't just about capital seeking cheaper valuations. It reflects genuine capability distribution. Taylor observes that founders in Latin America, Africa, the Middle East, and South Asia are building venture-scale companies, often serving massive markets from the start.
The assumption that innovation radiates outward from Silicon Valley is collapsing before our eyes. Now let's shift from prediction to visualization, how artists are using black holes as metaphors for the unknowable. Lynn Gamwell's book, Conjuring the Void, The Art of Black Holes, documents a parallel human response to uncertainty, artistic interpretation where VCs use data and pattern recognition.
What's absolutely fascinating is how Eastern philosophy meets Western physics here. Gamwell notes she was astounded at how much art there is about black holes, particularly Asian art. The resonance between black hole physics and Eastern philosophy isn't coincidental.
The book traces this imagery from John Mitchell's 1783 Dark Stars through Edgar Allan Poe's A Descent into the Maelstrom to contemporary multimedia installations. Harry Clarke's 1919 illustration of Poe's Maelstrom provided an early visual analogy for gravitational collapse, a swirling vortex that pulls everything toward an inescapable center. Jean-Pierre Luminet's 1979 scientific drawing, created with ink on paper and reversed photographically, represents one of the first attempts to visualize black hole physics accurately. Contemporary artists like Xu Bing create immersive installations that transform black holes into metaphors for language and translation.
His gravitational arena applies gravitational physics to Wittgenstein quotes written in pseudo-Chinese characters, creating a visual wormhole that visitors experience from multiple perspectives. Quite brilliant, really.
But there's a darker side to this artistic exploration. Gamwell writes about the violence inherent in black holes.
Anything in the vicinity of a black hole is violently torn apart owing to its extreme gravity, the strongest in the universe. We see this violence in the works of artists like Kai Guoqiang and Takashi Murakami, who have used black holes to symbolize the brutality unleashed by the atomic bomb.
This connection reveals how artists use cosmic phenomena to process human trauma. The incomprehensible, destructive power of nuclear weapons finds a natural metaphor in black holes. Yet black holes also represent transformation and energy. Artists like Yambi Tam invite viewers to embrace darkness as a path to transformation, awe, and wonder. Both articles grapple with a fundamental tension, the desire to measure and predict versus accepting uncertainty and unknowability.
VCs attempt to forecast 2026 with confidence, citing data points and market trends. Yet their predictions often contradict each other. Some expect IPO market thaws, others remain skeptical. Some see AI everywhere, others predict its normalization into background infrastructure.
Artists approach black holes knowing they can never be fully visualized or understood. The Event Horizon Telescope's 2019 image represents a triumph of measurement, yet it confirms the limits of observation.
We can see the shadow and accretion disk, but never the singularity itself. It's rather like how Norman observes that model choice becomes an infrastructure decision, not a moat. The technology becomes commoditized. The moat comes from proprietary workflows built on top.
Speaking of infrastructure, we're seeing capital behave like gravity itself. Bloomberg notes that capital continues to concentrate in a select number of winners. This gravitational pull creates its own event horizon.
Companies either achieve escape velocity through successful exits or get trapped in the funding cycle until collapse.
Norman's description of the venture market as a clearing event that will separate durable platforms from transient ones echoes the violent sorting near black holes. Some matter escapes as high-energy jets. Most gets pulled into the singularity.
Taylor's observation about venture capital flowing outside the U.S. represents a redistribution of gravitational mass. New centers of innovation forming as the old center's monopoly weakens. Just as black holes shape galaxy formation, capital concentration shapes where innovation occurs.
Exactly. And this connects to something fascinating. Luminet's 1979 black hole drawing worked because it was both mathematically rigorous and visually striking.
That's the sweet spot, isn't it? Contemporary installations succeed when they make abstract physics concepts tangible and experiential. Same principle applies to the venture ecosystem. You need frameworks for navigating uncertainty, but also flexibility to recognize when those frameworks no longer apply.
As we move into 2026, both prediction and imagination will be essential. The future, like a black hole, remains fundamentally unknowable, but we can map its edges, feel its gravitational pull, and create meaning from the darkness.
And that's where the real opportunity lies, in the intersection. Companies that combine rigorous analysis with creative vision, artists who ground their metaphors in scientific understanding, the convergence is accelerating.
Beautifully put. Whether you're visualizing cosmic phenomena or forecasting market trends, you're essentially doing the same thing, making sense of forces beyond human scale through the tools available to you.
And that brings us to the end of today's Machine Talks. We've explored how venture capitalists and artists both grapple with uncertainty, how capital flows like gravity, and why the future demands both analytical precision and creative imagination. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the intersection of AI, art, and technology. Make sure to subscribe to Machine Talks for more daily explorations of our rapidly evolving digital landscape. Until next time, keep questioning, keep creating, and remember, in a world where the future is unknowable, the most powerful tool we have is our ability to imagine new possibilities while staying grounded in truth. This has been Machine Talks. I'm Zuri with Drew and Can. See you tomorrow.